Hi, am I audible? Cool, cool. But I'm so sorry, guys. I was stuck somewhere in something important and got late a bit. Right, so good evening, everyone. Welcome to. I hope you might have enjoyed your weekend, might have used it for some creative things, I believe. Right? So today we are starting with the conversion tracking. A lot of people were interested in how conversion pixel works and how to place it up and how to create your audience and everything. Link was not working today. Is it working now? Working for what? The download? PDF download? Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, so I was talking that we were right. So we will be talking about conversion tracking. See, the thing is about conversion tracking that we can't see it in real environment or live environment, I would say. Right. The only reason is we can't show you or I can't show you how this pixel is being tracked or how is it working. I can just show you how to place it up. What are the changes that we need to do in terms of tracking the conversion? And just hold on for a second. Sorry, Dr. Adarji. Yeah, so I was saying that I won't be able to tell you how this pixel works in live environment and how is it tracking, right? But I will definitely tell you how the pixel look like and what changes you need to make when you are creating a pixel to track the conversions and values, right? No, nothing has been missed right now. I'm not sure why link was not working, but it is working right now. Cool. So we will. तो हम लोग बस कन्वर्जन ट्रैकिंग की बात करने वाले थे राइट उसके अलावा एक दो चीजों की और हम बात करेंगे कन्वर्जन ट्रैकिंग के अलावा सो कन्वर्जन ट्रैकिंग के साथ इशू ये होता है कि हम बता नहीं पाते हम लोग देख नहीं सकते लाइव इन्वायरमेंट में कि कैसे काम कर रही है मैं आपको ये बता सकता हूँ डायरेक्टली कि कन्वर्जन पिक्सल सेट कैसे करते हैं प्लेस कहाँ करनी है क्या चेंज करना होता है वैल्यूज में क्या चेंज करना होता है या फिर आपको कन्वर्जन जब रिकॉर्ड करने हैं तो आपको क्या पिक करना है दैट्स इट एम आई ऑडिबल करेक्टली आई मीन एम आई ऑडिबल cool so so we'll come back to a pdf so this pdf is exactly just theory right we'll look into this first. So you can see this conversion tracking is a free tool that shows you what happens after a customer interacts with your app, product, signed up for your newsletter, called your business, or downloaded your app. Right? When a customer completes an action that you have defined as valuable, these customer actions are called conversion. Right? So conversion could be anything. It could be a purchase. It could be a purchase, it could be a sign up, it could be a PDF or infographic download, it could be a case study download, it could be a video watch, it could be a click of a button. Anything could be a conversion based on your business model. right? The conversion tracking. So the very first or most important thing is to have a conversion tracking. You should have a website. Right? So until unless you don't have a website, you can't place your pixel on it, right? So simple to understand. So what do you want to track? And you need to set up a conversion tracking for your website when you want to track website purchases, newsletter signups, button clicks, or the other website actions, right? If you want to track app installs, you have to place your conversion pixel into your app, right? If you want to track both app and web conversions from Google Analytics app plus web, you have to choose from one of the following, right? Measure the web conversion from Google Analytics app plus web properties. Will we study attribution? I will try to cover the portion, the attribution. Right? If you want to track phone calls, you can do it by placing a pixel on your website where it will track the people who have clicked on the number from your website. You can track the phone calls also if someone has made it. Then offline conversion, if you are trying to track the offline conversions, you have to upload a file that would do the Google Ads, and then it will show you the number of conversions. Right, the benefit of conversion tracking is you can see which keyword ads, ad groups, and campaigns are best at driving valuable customer activity. Right? So basically, optimization mein conversion plays an important role. How? So you can understand from which particular keyword a lot of people are coming and are not getting converted, while from a particular keyword or in a particular campaign, what ads are driving more conversions, right? So it's important for optimization and to understand what kind of ads people are clicking, what kind of searches people are doing, right? Everything. And to use smart bidding, you need to have conversions also, so that we can use target CPA, maximize conversion, or ROS bidding if we want to. If we don't have conversions in place and we haven't got any conversions, we can't use particular bid strategies. See how many customers may be interacting with your ad on one device or browser and converting on another. You can view cross-device or cross-browser and other conversion data in all conversions reporting column, right? Voice is not clear. Voice is not clear, is it? Some people are saying it's clear. Some people are saying not clear. आपकी आवाज, मेरी आवाज अटक रही है? नेटवर्क इशू है या पता नहीं, सुबह भी हो रहा था, आई डोंट नो व्हाई. आज पता नहीं, इधर कुछ इशू ही हो रहा है नेटवर्क का. आई चेक्ड विद द अदर पीपल इन द कम्युनिटी आल्सो, दे वर टेलिंग मी द सेम थिंग. Could be. But am I audible and are you getting? Are you? I mean, getting the points I am trying to explain? तो मैं काम करता हूँ, मैं धीरे धीरे बोलता हूँ, तो अगर अटक भी रहा होगा तो won't be an issue. हाँ, I will go slow. Fine. Right. So how your conversions work basically? on a if I tell you, I mean, not in an actually hypothetical situation, usually what happens when you have placed the pixel on your website, right? So there are majorly two kind of pixel that you place on your website. One is a global site tag, particularly in Google Ads. There's a global site tag that tracks all the visits on your website, and then one is an event snippet. Right, that event snippet is kind of your conversion specific code that you put on a specific web page, right? So this conversion snippet is if you are tracking purchases, it will track purchases. If you are tracking calls, it will track calls. If you are tracking signups, it will track signups, right? So this is why it's per action specific code, right? While the global site tag is called global site tag because it's placed on overall website, on all the pages of your website, which is used for remarketing mostly, and it creates the list automatically of users who are coming to your website, right? So whenever you click on the ad, Google Pixel code will Google site tag will understand that you have come from the ad. It will code the script that we put on the web page, right? It coordinates with the system and it understands that okay, you have come from the Google ad, right? Majorly. So if a conversion happens, it attributes the conversion to that particular ad or keyword, or let's say placement, audience, everything, right? So in backend, there are a lot of calculations or coordination happens usually. These are different explanation how tracking works. Right, you can import conversions also. So these are local actions. You can see actions that are counted whenever people interact with an ad that is specific to a physical location store, right? You can see this. So please repeat what? Where did you miss me? See, so convergent tracking is basically when you want to track different actions which are important to your business, right? See, conversion is basically nothing else. These are specific actions that you want to track, right? It could be a purchase, it could be a sign up, it could be a video watch, it could be a download of any software or any PDF file or anything, right? It could be a click of a button, it could be a visit of a specific page. So whatever action is important, type of tracking basically any kind of tracking. I mean, how many people are visiting to your specific page? That could be a conversion. You want to track, let's say X people are visiting on a page or any web page, right? Which is actually an important page for your business, right? It could be a purchase. You want to understand how many people from Google Ads are purchasing from my website, right? How many people are watching a video who are coming from Google Ads or let's say YouTube who are watching my video? How many people are coming from Google Ads who are signing up for the newsletter? Or how many people are coming up from Google who are downloading a PDF? These kind of things. Is it necessary to getting money from that conversion? No, it's not necessary to get money from the conversion. Let's say you are running a business where signups are important and there is no conversion value associated with it, right? So you will get the number of conversion that, let's say, X number of people have signed up, but you won't get any revenue out of it, right? but you will understand that people are converting, from which ad they are converting, what content they are actually interested in. This all helps in optimizing your campaign, optimizing your overall customer funnel usually, right? Right. So conversion tracking can help you to see how effectively your ad clicks lead to valuable customer activity on your website. This we discussed just now. Right, to set up your conversion pixel, you have to log into your account. Then on upper right corner, you have to click on the tools icon, then go to measurement, then click conversions. Right, that we will see how to go through this particular steps, these particular steps. See this. So we have to define a conversion value. We have to define a conversion count. Right. These view through conversion and click through conversions, these are by default industry standard. Can we have conversion tracking demo on Google Skillshop? I'm not sure if there is any course on conversion tracking. You can look into it. I haven't visited the Skillshop for a long time. Right, so these all blue you are seeing here, blue text, these are linked technically. You just double click on the PDF, it will ask you to open the web page. See this, to set up website conversion tracking for the first time, you will need to add two code snippets to your website, the global site tag and the event snippet, right? The global site tag adds website visitors to your all visitors or remarketing list and sets new cookies on your domain, which will store information about the ad click that brought someone to your website, right? Now the event snippet tracks actions that should be counted as conversions, right? Install the snippet on site pages you would like to track conversions for. Right, so there are three kind of options. There are three options basically how you can use the pixel to place it on your website. Either you can install it and place it on your website. This is an example snippet, by the way. This is how the global site tag looks like. Right? If you have already installed the global site tag on your website, you can configure it differently for different conversion actions. This is how you modify the tag. Modify. Like you can go through the PDF like this, right? You need to place the global site tag in the head section of the website. We have already looked into the head section. Global sitemap? No, global site tag. Can we install this on WordPress site? Yes, you can. I think if you have a paid version of WordPress, it will just ask. It would be having a widget of Google tag. You just need to put the conversion ID into it. If I'm not wrong, you don't have to place the whole code into it. There would be a widget for Google ad conversion tracking. Right, so we have looked into the head section earlier when we were talking about SEO. in free website you have to place the full code in that case. I'm not sure about the WordPress right now, the paid version. I'm just assuming because I have seen some of the paid versions of other CMS than WordPress. That you just have to put the conversion tag or the conversion ID. That you can see the HTML for sample web page. This is the HTML. This is how a website HTML page looks like. You can see this is the head section, which is opening right now here. This is the title, and this is the head, which is getting closed here by a /. Right? You have to paste your code in between this head and this head. Right? Now this is event snippet. Now the second option is tag manager. You can use tag manager is actually a container tag. So if you want to place all the tags by yourselves only and don't want to involve your tech team or IT department, right? You need to place a tag manager on your website, all pages of your website. Then it contains all the different options of features. Then you can put your AdWords conversion tracking code into it. But then there is conversion counting. We will look into it also. So you can track every conversion and you can track one conversion. Right? So the difference here, with the setting of every conversion, Google Ads count every conversion, right? So let's say you are running an e-commerce website where you are trying to track every conversion or every purchase. So you have to pick this particular option. So let's say I'm a user who buys 3 or 4 times, for an example, right? So you are tracking all the 4 purchases, 3 or 4 purchases that I have made, because all are important for you ultimately to understand how many orders have been placed and of what value, right? And for one conversion, let's say you are running a business for lead generation or off lead generation where people fill up a form and then you contact them and then they convert or buy your product or service. So you don't want to track conversions from people multiple times from the same guy, right? That's why you choose count one conversion. A discount theory. Then these are the few instructions. Right? And there are few important links. So you can read this. Is it a video or what? No, this is a YouTube video, so you can watch it. This is again measurement and attribution. It's also a YouTube video. You can watch it. Remarketing. It's also a YouTube video. You can watch it. Right? So now we will look into how to create a conversion pixel. Right, so this, you can see this, right? The AdWords account. Is this visible? Right, so we will go to tools and settings. This under measurement, you can see this conversion. Now you can see I have created so many pixels here. Right, I want to create a new pixel. I will just, you can see there are two options. First of all, conversion actions. This is where you define your action, right? And this conversion action sets. So a particular action can be, specific actions can be grouped. Right, so we will go with the conversion actions first. I will click on this button. Now you can see four options here. One is you can select the conversion you want to track on website. You can see on website you can track online sales, link clicks, page views and signups. On app, you can track conversion, app installs, in-app purchases and in-app actions. In phone calls, you can track call from ads. So we have already looked into the call only ads for search, right? You can track that someone has clicked on your ad and they have called you, right? Calls to a number on your website, you can track that also, and clicks on numbers on mobile sites, right? And the fourth one is you can import the conversion data from Google Analytics, from Salesforce, which is a CRM. In offline lead conversions, you can upload your offline conversions to Ad Group, Google Ads, and phone sales also. Right, so we'll start with website conversions. You can see this category, right? You have to pick one of the categories here. There are so many categories you can see. So these are sales categories and leads categories, and then there is more categories, right? So there are purchase, add to cart, begin checkout, and subscribe. These are four sales categories. Now there are lead categories. So there is contact, submit lead form, book appointment, sign up. So this is similar to your call to action that you define. This is how you define that you are you are defining or setting up pixel for, let's say, purchase, for add to cart, or anything else, right? It will show up on the page, that conversion action, right? So you are defining the action. Let's say I'm defining the purchase here, right? I will put a name to purchase, 31 8 2020. Then now this is value, right? So it says measure the impact of your advertising by giving conversion a value. So your value is basically nothing but the amount that someone has purchased for a particular product, right? So if you can pick any of the three options, first is use the same value for each conversion, use different values for each conversion, and don't use a value for the conversion action, right? Which is not recommended, by the way, for most of the businesses. So we'll see what does the first conversion says. It says each time a conversion happens, the same value is recorded. So let's say on a website or on your website, there are, let's say, 10, 20 products. but of same value. Let's say the value is 500 rupees for any product, right? So you can define here that my conversion value is of rupees 500, right? So every time someone purchases a product or let's say yes, if someone purchases a product, conversion value would be reflecting in the conversion value column, right? You can define to use different values for each conversion. Let's say you are an e-commerce website where are different products of different prices. One product is of let's say 200 rupees, one is of 500 rupees, one is of 300, 700, 1000, 1500, 2000, 10,000, whatever it is, right? So then you need the event snippet code for that particular conversion tracking. Right? It says you will see the steps to add dynamic values to your tracking code on the next page. If you don't add this code, the default value entered here will be used. So either if you can define a default value, an average value it could be. Right? So you can define an average value. Repeat what? Someone said, please repeat the same. Didn't understand. Value, the conversion value. So what happens usually? Let's say you are running a e-commerce website, right? Or an e-commerce website. Just hold on for a second. Yeah, so what happens when you are using different values for conversion, right? Let's say you are running an e-commerce and you have different products of different prices, right? So you cannot put a defined value to it, right? You have to track each and every product value when there is a purchase being happened. So you pick this particular option, right? And for the sake of giving the conversion value to any conversion, which couldn't track the average value, couldn't track the price for somehow, it will track the average value, whatever you have put here, the default value, right? And let's say if you are using if your business model is of sign up, right? Let's say I am running a lead generation campaign, or I have a business where I have to call the customers, let's say in an insurance company, right? I can track the number of signups or people who have submitted the form, but they are not purchasing anything right now as such, right? So I can get the conversion, but I don't need to track a conversion value. So I will use this. Don't use the value of this conversion action, right? It is not recommended for most of the conversions. It shows amount, yes, it shows the amount you have earned in the sense in terms of purchases, what price value of the of a product is that someone has bought. It shows the revenue technically, or the price of a product that have been bought by someone. Right? Now there is count. So let's say if you are running an e-commerce website, again you have to track. Let's say I am purchasing a lot of times, right? So you need to track each and every purchase from each and every user, regardless how many times they are buying in a day or in a month or anything, right? So you pick or you choose this particular option that you are tracking every conversion, or you're counting every conversion, right? You are counting one when you are running a lead campaign or sign-ups or other conversion, because the only first interaction is valuable, right? In case we lost our leads data, how would you lose your lead data? I'm not sure about it. Google won't give you any data out of it. It won't give you phone numbers or names or anything. Now this click-through conversion window, it's 30 days. It should remain like this only because this industry standard. You can change it though as per your convenience, right? Let's say if the conversion funnel of your particular business is longer than the usual, you can change this, but you shouldn't in right. Then there is view through conversion window, which is of 1 day usually. So that means someone who has seen an ad of yours and didn't click on it, but came later on and purchased within 24 hours. So it will give you a view through conversion for that ad. This shouldn't be changed again, right? This is including conversion columns. So you have just checked it. That means it would give you the data in the conversion columns, right? You should keep it checked only. Then this is attribution model. So there are one, two, three, four, five major attribution model. One is last click, which is most important because it gives the attribution or it gives the conversion to that particular ad or keyword or ad group or campaign from which the user came and bought, right? Then there is first click attribution model. That means it credits the conversion to the very first point of contact. I mean the very first ad people came to your website from. They might have clicked your ads, let's say n number of times, but whatever the ad they clicked first time to come on your website and then purchase later on, that will give you a conversion. It will credit the conversion to that particular ad which was clicked the very first time. Then there is one linear attribution. That means if people have uh, clicked on your ad 10 times and have converted, then it will credit the conversion value, uh, let's say point one, point one, point one, point one for 10 times, right? Then there's time decay. So it gives more credit to the clicks that happen closer in the time to the conversion, right? So what happens usually if you have picked the last click conversion or the first click conversion, you will always see the number of conversion in whole numbers, right? It could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or you can say absolute number. How, what do you call it, right? But if it's either it's linear or time decay or position based, okay. So what happens usually? Someone is asking to didn't get the click through conversions, didn't get the but it time number which are not in decimals. No, I'm not talking about prime numbers. It's called a prime number. Okay, I wasn't aware. I thought it's a whole number or absolute number, something like that. Okay, my bad. I didn't get the click-through conversion window. Okay, so what happens usually? I will just come to this part. So click-through conversion. Just read this. We will read it. Conversion can happen days after a person interacts with your ad. Right? Select the maximum time after an ad interaction that you want to count as conversion. So usually what happens? Let's say I have clicked on an ad, right? So I came to your website, but I didn't buy at that time only, right? I came, let's say 7 days later or 10 days later, and bought that time, right? So if I have put a click-through conversion window of 30 days, so when I have bought within the 30 days from your website, so the ad I have come through from in that particular window, it will credit a conversion to the particular ad, right? In click-through conversions. What customer can we import in Google? Okay. Acha, for importing, you're talking about importing, not exporting. Email, phone number, DOB, zip code, yes. Okay. I thought you were talking about exporting if you have lost the data. I'm not sure why the data loss question came. We can import the data, of course. The offline data we can import. But when you say, actually you were asking the question. I thought you, but why would you lose the data? I didn't get that part of the question. Hello, anyways. Right, so this was your click-through conversion when someone has come to your website by an ad click and didn't buy that time, but it buys later on after 7 days or 10 days. No, we won't lose any data. I'm not sure why we lose any data. You can import it, by the way, in any case. We need to check what data you can input. I think that would be right. It doesn't allow to track all this data in online format, so I'm not sure whether that would be. Would it be there? Okay. Into Google Customer, maybe it will lose, but customer cannot import into Google for customer match audience. Not sure, not sure. I have to check. Right, so this was your click-through conversions. So I think I discussed it again. For click-through and view-through, read it right to left. Right, it's click-through conversions is complicated, right? If you are reading it from the obvious left to right format or left to right order, just read it from right to left. So it's conversion through click and conversion through view. Right, so you can understand this conversion through click. So when a conversion occurred through a different click, right, and not from the same click sometimes ago, and it's a conversion through view and not through a click. Right, and we have discussed the attribution model also. I think this is clear. Click through conversion and view through conversion, yes or no? So it's conversion through click and conversion through view. You can read it like this. Attributes are not getting. I will show you the attribute wala part once. Just hold on for a second. So what happens usually, let's say I have come, so this is last click attribution. So what happens usually, I have come to your website by clicking, let's say 10 ads, right? And I bought it after 10 clicks. I mean 10 clicks in the sense, after clicking the 10 ads, right? So when I have converted or I have purchased, the conversion will be attributed to the 10th ad and not the rest of the 9 ads, right? So what happened? You can see this, right? Whiteboard. Let's say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right? So I clicked on the first ad. I came to your website. I didn't buy. I clicked on the second ad. I didn't uh, buy anything. Right? I clicked on the third ad. Let's say on third day. Right? And I didn't buy anything. I clicked on the fourth ad. I came to your website. I didn't buy anything. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? I didn't buy anything. Oh, no, not on the same ad. Any ad. Right? It could be any ad, not necessarily the same ad. Right? You are running, let's say, 100 ads. I clicked on any. Pick any number out of that 100. I clicked on that on the first day, second day, third day, fourth time, fifth time, sixth time, seventh time, eighth time, ninth time, 10th time. Right? So 10 time when I clicked on the ad, any of the ad, right? I came and I bought. So it will show the conversion. It will attribute one conversion to it, and for rest of it, it won't attribute any conversion, right? It would be 0, 0, 0. But for the 10, this is your last click conversion, by the way. Right? So it will attribute conversion 1. Fine. This is understood. Right? Then second is your first click. No, didn't get it. What part didn't? Yeah, someone says no, didn't get it. Get this. Please repeat why one. Why one you mean? Didn't get. One you mean one conversion? Why one conversion? No, see, one conversion is basically because I have bought one time, right? On the 10th time when I clicked on the ad, I bought first time, right? Or I bought the one time. If I have bought twice, let's say, so this is the first time I bought. No, that's why one conversion would be attributed, or conversion would be attributed. Any conversion. No, you clicked the 10th time, yes, which is fine. You clicked the 10th time, but you have bought only once, right? That's why the conversion would be given to this. So I'm just giving you a picture that none of the first 9 ads would be attributed as for a conversion, but the 10th one would be. Right? So 0, 1 you understand, yes and no. That's why I chose 0 and 1. Why 10? Because this is the last click attribution. So this was the last click before I bought anything. The 10th one. Right? If it get converted on 7th time, then again he will come on 10th. How it will count? No, if someone okay, good question. Fair point. Right? So if let's say someone have bought on the 7th time, right? So all these 6 won't get any conversion, but the 7th one would. Then the cycle will start again because it's last click conversion. So this time the conversion has happened, right? Now the conversion window will start again, or the attribution will start again. If I have bought, let's say after that, after the 7th time I bought, the 8th would become 1 again for me next time, right? It won't be 8. Yeah, 7th is the last click then. There won't be 8, 9, 10, 10th. Right, this is your last click. Now when I'll talk about first click, let's say I can buy from 10th. Let's say again, or we can put just, let's say this time we will put another number. No, if you have bought something on 5th, that particular conversion flow has stopped then, right? The moment a conversion happened, it has been stopped. Yes, so the first would be when the conversion happened, the very first ad would get the attribution, right? So let's say if I bought after the 7th click on any ad, right? This one would get one conversion. I mean, it would be attributed to this particular ad where I clicked the very first time. Rest all won't get any attribution for the conversion. This is for first click. Right. Next is linear time decay and position based. So it's linear time decay, position based. Right. So what happens in linear, basically, let's say I have come 5 times on your website by clicking 5 different ads or 5 similar ads or 2 similar ads, 3 similar, two ads, 2 times same, 3 times same, could be anything, right? Regardless of the ads I'm clicking, right? So in linear, let's say the 5th time the conversion happened. What if it get converted for all number of first clicks? Sorry, I didn't get that. All number of first clicks, that means? No, then you have to first define the attribution, that what attribution you are taking into consideration. Then it will give you the conversion attribution. So whatever you are getting the conversion, let's say if your one ad has got an attribution, right? You will understand that this is coming from first click. So this ad was clicked first. Right, so let's say in linear, so you have to first define the attribution. So I am talking about the linear and last click only, don't worry. So let's say I am defining, let's say I have put the linear attribution for my website. So for me, all touch points are important, let's say, right? So someone came first time on my website by clicking an ad, didn't buy, came second time, came third time, fourth time, but when he or she came 5th time, he or she bought something, right? So if I'm using a linear conversion attribution model, usually what happens when you are looking at your conversion column, no, it will give you number like this. Conversion 1, 2, 3, how many conversions you have got, 10, 20, 50, etc. Right? But when I'm talking about linear attribution, it will give equal value to each, something like this. Right? Because these are 5 times, so it will divide one conversion into 5 equal parts, and that would be 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. So let's say you are using a linear conversion attribution, right? In a particular ad or in front of a particular ad or keyword or campaign, you will see conversion as 0.2 and not something like 1 while you are looking into last click and first click, right? So linear conversion will divide the number of touch points into equal numbers, and then it will attribute to those 5 particular ad clicks or 5 particular ads, you can say. Right, got it? The linear one. No, if the every time if you are using any attribution model, only those ads will get attributed which have been clicked, right? And right, what happens in time decay usually? The closer you are to the conversion, the maximum attribute you will get. Let's say someone came to my website 4 times, right? And at the 4th time, it got converted. So the fourth ad or fourth keyword, the 4th time he clicked on which campaign through which ad group he or she came and bought will get the maximum attribution. So it would be 0.1. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So the attribution would be 0.1. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, right? So the last one would get the maximum attribution. So attribution will be divided. The attribution will be 1, and it would be divided. If we are using, let's say, linear or time decay, anything, it would be 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, because it's dividing into equal parts in linear conversion or linear attribution. In time decay, it's giving the last click the maximum attribution or maximum weightage, you can say, and then which is the closer to the conversion. This is how. Now then it's position based, right? So what happens in position based? Let's say someone came to my website 5 times by clicking 5 ads and then converted. So it will give the maximum, let's say 40% each to the first and last ad, and remaining it will distribute equal credit to rest of the touch points. So in time decay, what happens? The closer your ad or ad click to the conversion, it will get the maximum weightage. You understand weightage, right? Right. So let's say there was one conversion. Right. How would you divide one conversion with the maximum weightage to the nearest conversion? I will show you one more method. This is how we are doing numerically. Right. So in position based, what happens? It gives the 40% credit to the first ad click and 40% credit to the last ad click. Right. That becomes 80%. Right. Now we are left with 20% of the remaining attribution. So rest 20% would be distributed equally in the all the touch points. Let's say there are 3 remaining touch points, so that would be 20% divided by 3, right? So almost 6.6%, 6 point something, 6 point something, 6 point something percent, right? Why 40%? See, it gives the maximum weightage to first and the last click. So this is Google's idea. I mean, and I haven't asked them why 40%, why not 30, and why not 50, something like that. See, 40 because I'm assuming they can't give 50%, right? Because then it would be 100% for first and last click automatically. So rest of the point of contact or touch points are not getting any conversion attribution, right? It can't be 30%, 30% because it's 60 again. So rest of the 30 would be an equal attribution in that case. That's why they have chosen 40%. You can take 20 for what? The first and last click. No, you cannot. It's Google's predefined method. Right. So rest of the 20% would be divided into 3 parts, and then the attribution will be credited. Right. You can see this. I will show it to you. If you have noticed earlier, you can see this bar. You can see this chart, right? The at the last click, the bar is too high. Right. That means the last touch point was important. And you can read this. Last click give all the credits to the conversion to the last click that, right? For first click, you can see this. First click gives all credit to conversion to the first click that. Linear, right? Linear distributes the credit for the conversion equally across all clicks on the path, right? You can see this. All the bars are equal. And position based, you can see the first and the last bar is higher than the other one, right? So the first and the last add click is more important, right? So usually your attribution is last click. You don't change it normally. I just explain to you if someone asks you anytime that why not first click, why not linear, and what are these basically. And why we choose attribution? You can choose any attribution based on your business model. Let's say you want to give equal credit to all the touch points or all the ads which have been clicked before a conversion. You want to give them equal attribution, right, or equal credit in that case, right? Because they have brought a sale. They were involved in the conversion path, you can say, or they were involved in a sale, right? You want to give them equal credit. So that's why you use attribution. In that case, you will use linear attribution. Let's say for your business, to know which ad is giving more conversion value. No, actually to know which ad is bringing value. The first click or the last click or the linear ones or the time decay or the position based. Which one is more important for your website or for your business, let's say? Is it only for network and shopping ads? It's for everything. Overall, Google. It's for tracking actually. Yes. You can actually customize. Even here, you can customize. No, customize as in you want to. I mean, how would you customize it? You can change in credited part. I mean, let's say how much does it give credit to? When you say customize, I am assuming. Right, so this was attribution model. Let's not get stuck with this. See, this is usually last click. You don't have to change it until unless you are not asked to. Yeah, it's for tracking. It's actually to know which ad is bringing value to you. This is the function of attribution model. It says, right, the attribution model determines how much credit each click gets for your conversions to compare attribution model. Right? Then we'll click on create and continue. We have invested a lot of time in attribution modeling. Okay, this one is already, the name is already there. So I will just go through it once again because I think the connection might have shifted. So we just put a category of purchase here, right? You can put any category when you are creating or you are defining the conversion action, right? This is the part before the setting up the conversion pixel, right? We select a category. Then conversion name, you have to give a conversion name so that you can identify that you have created this particular conversion. Then you have to define a value, whether you want to track one value, equal value to every conversion, you want to use different values to each conversion, or you don't want to use a value at all. Right? The importance of all this is, let's say you have all products of same price. You can just use it. If you have different products of different prices, you can use this particular option. And if you are running a lead gen campaign or a sign up campaign, let's say, where people submit a form which is counted or considered as an action or conversion, but they don't buy anything, then you use this particular option. Right? Then you have to define the count. It could be every or one. So for every, when you are running an e-commerce business, let's say, and people who are buying regardless how many times, a single user can buy multiple times, and you want to track each and every purchase, then you choose every, and you choose one when only one sign up from one user is important, or one conversion from one user is important. Right? You choose this. Let's say I pick every, then conversion window, we keep it like this only, both. Then attribution model, we have selected, we have discussed the attribution model, we click create continue. Then it will ask you to either download the tag by yourself. If you want to put the tag by yourself on the website, it will ask you to install the tag or download the tag. Click on it. You can create tag to your developer, or you can use the Google Tag Manager. So as I was saying, when you use Google Tag Manager, you just have to put the conversion ID and conversion label, right? You don't have to paste the whole tag usually, right? In Google Tag Manager. But you are looking into this one, this particular option, install the tag yourself. These are the instructions you can read to set up conversion tracking. For this conversion name, you must have the global site tag and then event snippet in the code, right? To add the tag and snippet, select the framework your pages uses and follow the instructions. So there are two types of code that you can install on your pages. One is HTML, another is AMP. So if you have made your website as an AMP, that is accelerated mobile pages, you will choose this one. But if you haven't, just select the HTML. For most of the time, it would be HTML, right? Then there will be global site tag. So every time you are creating one conversion, when you are creating a new conversion pixel, right, for your website, the very first time, you will choose the first option. Right, and you can go through all the options, you will understand it. It's self-explanatory, by the way. So it says here also, copy the tag below and paste it in between the head section. Right? You only need to install the global site tag once per account, even if you are taking multiple actions. So only once you have to put this code particularly. Then you can define different conversion actions, by the way, from the same tag. Right? This is your snippet of global site tag that you put in each and every page. Then this is event snippet. The event snippet works with the global site tag to track actions that should be counted as conversions. Right? Choose whether to track conversions on a page load or click. Right? You can define whether you want to track a conversion on a page load. So for page load conversion, it could be something like, when you have bought something from Amazon or any other e-commerce, they usually give you one page. I mean, when you have placed the order, uh, an order detail page appears, right? Usually, so this page load is actually tracked as a conversion. So you can put that snippet, event snippet, to that page load for the thank you page or order detail page, and it will track if someone has visited that particular thank you page or order summary page or order details page. It will be tracked as a conversion. The pixel will fire once the page loads. This particular pixel, it's called pixel will trigger or pixel will fire. Usually, we use this term. The pixel is not firing or pixel is not triggering. Right? Clear till here? Event snippet and global site tag. Everyone? Anyone? Any confusion? No one? Okay. We'll move ahead. Right? So usually you are tracking purchases, right? So what happens usually, for an example, I go to Myntra. Let me just print it a bit. Let's say I'm on Myntra, I'm buying a product, for example. Global site tag not count as a conversion, right? It's not used for conversion. Global site tag is used for creating a list of users for remarketing purposes. And but you have to put it, it's mandatory until unless the conversion won't be tracked in any case. Because this particular part of the global site tag coordinates with the ad. So a lot of backend, I won't say calculation, a lot of backend tracking happens through Google system. That I will tell you. Just my laptop. Let me just show it to you. So you see this GCL ID, right? G click ID. This one. This G-Click ID is basically a script or a tag or a code from Google that coordinates with the pixel technically. So this is how Google tracks the conversion that it has come from Google ad. This is very important, majorly. Right? So every click would have a different click ID. You can see this. And it is encrypted, by the way. So you can understand what is it tracking. It's tracking click source, which is adwords.ds, The DS could be anything here, maybe dynamic search ad or anything, but it's .ds, so it's fine. The aw.ds is AdWords. You understood this, right? So this part coordinates with the pixel usually. So you see this gclick ID, right? You will see this gclick ID in a lot of URL which you are coming from Google. Let's say, for example, I will just go back. I'll just click on HP. You can see this, right? This is Dell's website, but here there is a gclick ID. GCL ID, it's called GCL ID or gclick ID, Google Click ID. And this is HP's website and HP's URL. You can see one gclick ID here also. Right? So every ad you click on would be having a gclick ID, a unique gclick ID. Right? Let me just click on one of the PLA ad. This is through Reliance Digital. You see this Google Ad Services, etc., etc. Right? You can see this on Reliance Digital. There is a gclick ID also. Right? So this particular gclick ID coordinates with the Google's Pixel. Got the point? How conversions are being tracked through Google. Now this sync happens on the back end in Google system usually. They have defined each and everything. Understood how it will track the conversion from a particular click through this gclick ID. हो गया, दोबारा नहीं समझा यार, एक बार हो गया, आगे भी बढ़ना है. Right? So this was how Google takes care of the every conversion and all the what can I say, the remarketing list also. This gclick ID used for same both conversion tracking and remarketing list audience or everything. Right? Now I was talking that how that conversion is used, the event snippet. Let's say I am on this particular product, right? Then I will click on, let's say, add to bag. I will click on that price. I was just looking at one of Myntra that I would show you the difference. I could. No, there is no right now for me. Okay, doesn't matter. Right, so let's say I was on this men's kurta. I will just add it to the bag. Just go to bag. You click on it. Not there. Right, so what happens when I am into the conversion path? When I say conversion path, I mean I am at the shopping cart, then I will add all my details, right? And then I will select the payment method, and once the order is placed, you will see one page with order details or order summary or thank you for buying from Myntra, something like that, if you have bought earlier, right? I'm not actually buying it. I was just trying to show it to you. Right? So that particular page contains this particular snippet. So do one thing. Next time when you are buying something, and you are at the order summary page, just open this page particularly, go to right, just click on the right and view the page source, right? You might be able to see the conversion pixel. How would you identify it? Just search for this AW dash or this called global site tag or any specific keyword that you can see from this slash or G tag or something. Okay. I'm just giving you an idea that how people are working on this conversion thing, right? You don't have to necessarily. I'm just giving you an idea if you want to, right? So this is how the conversion. Sorry, the event pixel will this one. The event pixel will load on the page, right? Then we will click on next. Right now your pixel is created. You see this, right? If your server reads this Google click ID, G click ID URL parameter, right? It's also saying this that this has to be passed. If you are using a server redirect ad, right? Let's say it's coming from a third party, right? But still you have to pass the parameter to your landing page. Right, so we have set up the conversion tracking now. You have to just post the you have to just place the conversion pixels. Then you are ready to track the conversions. So what happens usually? You see this status, right? Tracking status. It says unverified because I have created the conversion pixel, but I haven't placed it on my website. Right? That's why it's unverified. Once it's placed, Google will just show it as verified. Right? And when your pixel is placed and it's verified and you are not getting any conversions for a longer time, it will say no recent conversions. So these are the different tracking statuses. Right? You can see this. Shows whether you are able to track conversions for this action. It's based on data from the last 7 days. Right? It gives you count also, this particular section, the conversion actions. Right? So this is how your pixel is created. Fine, got it? Can I place it on? Of course, you can place it on your website.com. Definitely. Right? This was all about conversion tracking. Nothing much. Now, how you can see it? We will just go to measure. We will just go to this audience manager. Difference between conversion tracking and analytics. So analytics usually tracks the visits, right? The behavior of your users. While your conversion tracking or this global site tag tracks the number of users who are coming to that website, right? Usually, and you create different rules to create the remarketing list. Well, analytics give you all the user behavior related data, right? From which device it has come, from which browser it has come, at what time, from which country. Right? The conversion tracking doesn't give you all the data. Right now you can see this. These are the different lists. You can see this in bracket. It says Google Ads. So this particular list is created by Google Ads, right? Which is being used right now as such. This I created actually shopping cart abandons. You can see This is also created by Google. So people who added products to the shopping cart but did not complete the purchase. So this is abandoned shopping cart. Right? This is people. You can see the product viewers. So people who viewed specific product pages on your website. Right? So this is automatically created by Google. Now you can see this AdWords optimized list. Right? So people who converted on your site based on your conversion tracking tag. This is created from Google, all converters. Right? So you define all this. You just go to click. You can create a website user list, app user list, YouTube users, customer list, etc. And it gives you the size of the users, right? It's fewer than 1000, 0, 26, etc. Everything. Right? You can see this. That it gives, so any particular list you create, it will give you the number of users who are falling in that particular bucket. Right? For let's say all users, this is created by Google only usually. This Google Analytics plus website property. Right? This is created by Google Analytics. All visitors from Google Ads. Right? You can just click on all converters. You can see from which it's getting the data. If it's getting any. Right? You can see the list members. The list populates automatically using your conversion tracking tag. All converters contains everybody who's converted on your page. Right? So few of the user lists are created by Google Ads, few from Google Analytics, right? And few you can create by your own. Just click on it. Let's say click on website visitors. On the page URL you can give anything. You can see the visitors of a page. A visitors of a page who also visited another page. So let's say people who visited a page. It could be a home page. It could be a page of a category. Let's say T-shirt or shoes or anything. Could be visitors of a page who also visited another page. Let's say people who visited T-shirt page and also visited the shirt page. Visitors of a page who did not visit another page. Let's say people who visited shirts but did not visited T-shirt, did not visit T-shirt. Everything. And you can see this. The visitor of a page during a specific dates. Let's say you are running a week-long promotion, and people who came during that particular uh, uh, from people who came from that particular time frame, you can create a specific list for these people also. People of a visitor of a page is specific tags. If you have any snippet or anything specifically, right? You can use it. The by default membership duration is 30 days. You can increase it. There is no industry standard. It's actually 365 days. So people who came to your website and you have chosen the membership duration 365 days. So the cookie or the user list will, that particular user will stay in that particular list for next 1 year. You can remarket that particular user for next 1 year. If he is not coming to your website for next 1 year, the cookie time will reset. Right? Then that particular user will be kept out of your user list or bucket. If he or she comes to your website in within the 365 days or any given time frame, then the user cookie will be reset again, right? So the day will start. This 30-day time frame will start from the date it has come again, or he or she has come again. In that case. You can see this membership duration is the amount of time someone will stay on your remarketing list after interacting with your business. Right? You can create the audience defined on the rules. So this is it. What conversion text. Right? Any questions? There was one more thing. Show the particular doing this. Yeah, I cannot actually because I don't have a website to. I mean, I have a website, but I won't be able to show you the copy pasting right now because it's a single page website, by the way. So I don't have to track the conversions usually. Yeah, I can do that. You want to, let me just go to. I will try. Okay, someone has asked. I will try. Let me check. I'm just trying to. चलिए आज काम नहीं कर रहा है. We will discuss about it tomorrow in that case, right? Just remind me that I have to show it to you, or is it working now? अच्छा आ गया. I guess. My website is just a single page website. I'm not sure how would it look like. So I'll go to edit site. Getting where is the HTML of my website? Net is too slow today. Please not say the show from where to copy. No, I know, but it's not opening. You created a website. No, I didn't create it in WordPress. I just registered a domain in GoDaddy and it gave me the website builder. I mean, I paid it for website builder also. It's not WordPress. It's running too slow. We'll look into it tomorrow in that case. I hope the net would work tomorrow. And let me just show it to you here. Shouldn't be a problem. So let's say this is your website, right? I will just go to view page source. So this is your head right? Head section of your website. This is where you put the code. the site tag. G tag, right? What was that G tag? Where is it? Not this one. So they are using actually a tag manager. They have put the code into tag manager. This is where they are using it, right? Tag manager.com. That's why I couldn't identify this. The code. Did you buy? Yes, I bought the hosting. Yes. No, Gclick ID is not the one we should search for. It's for ad, and it comes under URL, not into the page. It's not loading right now. So we'll look into tomorrow. I have to discuss one more thing. It's called UTM parameters that I discussed in the earlier session. Right? Fine, guys. I think the conversion tracking is a bit clearer now than the earlier understanding. I hope you might have got some idea about conversion tracking. I'm not saying that the 100% idea. Some. Let me showing error in creating a page. We will talk about it. I have to look into it also. Why it's not giving the page, the LinkedIn one. Done fine. Attribution part explained. Is it? Thank you so much. What is different about GoDaddy website builder? Nothing much. See, for single page website, you can use anything. But if you have a proper website, then just come out of GoDaddy web hosting and take something else. Just host it on your own server, rather. Is this week is last week? Kind of, yes. I think this week would be finishing it up, I believe. Yes, you would be having these PDF and videos even after the completion of the course. Like, see, the link is already there, no, and the PDF has already been sent to you on your email. You would be having the PDF, right? Have have we to paste? Yes, you have to paste the global tag to uh, global site tag. You have to paste in every page, but the snippet would be where you are tracking the conversion. Snippet you don't have to paste in all the pages. लिंक एक्सपायर तो नहीं होगा बाद में कौन सा लिंक सेशन लिंक कैसा ये वाला सेशन का लिंक बाद में एक्सपायर नहीं होगा मतलब जोहो लिंक का आई एम नॉट श्योर यार आई एम नॉट looking into this zoho wala it shouldn't be linked expire क्यों होगा I'm not sure why should it get expired. No, I don't think so. I think we already cleared it earlier in the session, right? That you would be getting uh, this material for lifelong. I think Sachin from CXO already cleared it, I believe. Mr. Sachin. Page snippet in show now page only. Show shop now. No, no, no. Don't paste snippet in shop now. If you are tracking shop now, click. Then you have to paste it. Okay, we will discuss it tomorrow. I will see if I can describe it in a bit easier manner. I'll see it. But टाइम नहीं मिलता है. मैं बोल तो देता हूँ कि we will discuss it tomorrow, but टाइम नहीं मिलता है. Fine, I think we are done here. टाइम दे दो तो टाइम दूंगा यार, टाइम दूंगा. अब क्या करूँ, अभी थोड़ा बिजी चल रहा हूँ. ये मंथ कुछ ज्यादा है. मुझे पता है वीडियो अपलोड करना था यूट्यूब पे दिस वीकेंड, वो भी नहीं कर पाया मैं. बनाई नहीं है अभी हिंदी में. वो भी बैकलॉग में चला जाता है. ये इम्पोर्टेंट काम है कितना फिर भी. How many topics are left? Not much. I think we are almost finishing it up. Fine, guys. Uh, we'll meet tomorrow then. YouTube. I have shared YouTube link right earlier. Tomorrow is what? एक मई लेबर डे. लेबर डे 1 मई हॉलीडे. नहीं सॉरी, अगस्त नहीं, सितंबर है ना. सॉरी सॉरी सॉरी, नॉट लेबर डे. व्हाट इज गणपति विसर्जन. नहीं, गणपति विसर्जन के लिए ठीक है. को यार लेबर डे तो 1 मई को होता है. सॉरी, गणपति विसर्जन कल चतुर्थी है क्या? Okay, guys, I think we are done. Not so many questions are popping up now. So we'll meet tomorrow. No holiday, by the way. ऑफिसेज में होती है गणपति विसर्जन की छुट्टी यार. ऑनलाइन में काहे की छुट्टी. अभी तो वैसे भी ऑफिस कोई नहीं जा रहा है, फिर काहे की छुट्टी. अभी तो घर पे बैठे हो सबके सब. What kind of questions from conversion tracking we expect from interview point? You don't have to, I believe. They will just ask how to put a pixel, where to put a pixel, something like that, I believe. They won't ask you to modify the pixel, by the way, in any case. Someone was asking for the YouTube channel. Fine, guys. Thank you so much. We'll meet tomorrow. See you. Bye-bye.